What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm back here again with another video game, my thoughts on another recent Major League Baseball player who just recently announced his retirement on January 17th, 2022. Someone who's definitely, I feel, was a little bit underrated, had a couple tough turns in his career. But personally, to me, as a Pittsburgh fan, this guy definitely is someone that I want to give, a shout out to, acknowledgement to, and that is Francisco Liriano, who retired after he officially announced his retirement after a 14-year career. He had last appeared in 2019 as a lefty specialist with the Pirates. Liriano first was drafted by the Giants, actually. I didn't know that. In 2000, as just a young kid from the Dominican Republic. He was traded to the Twins eventually. And he was involved in a trade that sent A.J. Pierzynski to the Giants. But it was definitely a steal for the Twins. Liriano would go on to be called up from the Twins. He made a few starts in 2005. 2006, he was a strong, electric lefty rookie. I think he finished 12 and 3 that year with like a 2.16 ERA. The future looked bright for Frankie Liriano. Definitely viewed him as a tough pitcher. Of course, he also gave up Andrew McCutchen's first Major League home run, which is one thing I remember best. That's 2009. He hit a big bump, though, that probably hurt him a little bit for his career in 2007 when he had Tommy John surgery and missed the entire season. He returned back in 2008. It took him a bit, though, to kind of get back into at least be like a solid starter. He definitely was not, unfortunately, the same after that for a few years. He had some moments where he shined. He did have a 200 strikeout campaign at one point with the Twins. For them to be years, he'd be back to the fives for an ERA. So he went kind of back and forth where he was just great one year, not so good another year, unfortunately. 2011, though, I remember he threw 130, 140 pitches. In 2011, he did throw a no-hitter, though, which of course was the only no-hitter of his career. And then he was traded 4 times in his career. He was traded to the White Sox during the 2012 trade deadline. I think he was traded for Eduardo Escobar, who is now been a solid bat for a few teams. I think he just signed with the Mets actually before the Players Union this offseason, I believe it was. But he's definitely had a solid career with the Diamondbacks. He spent half the year with the Brewers and now to the Mets, but that's a whole other story there. But then Liriano was Comeback Player of the Year 2 times in his career. 2010, I believe he was the first time with the Twins when he kind of had a big bounce back year after, struggling to find his footing after returning from Tommy John surgery in 2008. The second time was well-deserved 2013. Let me pull up the numbers here for a second because I believe I just saw it. Yes, of course. 2013, Liriano was signed by the Pirates, which, again, as a Pittsburgh fan, was a very good sign to me. Of course, he had a history of injuries, of course, and, being, out of whack since that Tommy John surgery, so I was like, okay, let's see how this goes, but I definitely thought that was a really good signing, as it was him and A.J. Burnett as the top 2 in the rotation that year. And Liriano had one of the best seasons of his career. He went 16-8 that year with a 3.02 ERA. Strikeouts, what do you have for strikeouts? Only 162 strikeouts. Strikeouts were a little bit low. 2010, when he had 201, and 2015, he had 205 strikeouts. But he definitely showed that he could, if he was more healthier consistently throughout his career, he definitely could have been a Cy Young winner, I feel like. But he was 16-8, and he also had the nod in playing, in my opinion, one of the best games in Pittsburgh baseball history in the longest time, when he got the nod to pitch the wild card game in 2013 against the Reds. He got that nod. He was stellar, had a great performance. he still continued to, be a solid arm for the Pirates in 2014 and 2015. 2014, actually, since A.J. Burnett went to the Phillies that year, he was the Pirates' ace. Liriano was the Pirates' ace that year and did a solid job. 2015, he had his second 200 strikeout season. 2016, though, he did, linger some setbacks, and it led him to be traded to the Toronto Blue Jays in a very, very horrible salary dumping trade. I believe it was him, Harold Ramirez, and Reese McGuire, two prospects for the Pirates, went with Liriano to the Blue Jays for Drew Hutchinson, who didn't even make an appearance in the majors that year, which I still did not get that trade. Other than that, it was just a salary dump. That's 2016. Again, the 2015 offseason when the Pirates just completely gave up, as far as I know. They tried to beat the Cubs by signing John Jaso. Yeah, you lost a couple people to retirements, and then, of course, I get Pedro Alvarez leaving, but you had to trade away Neil Walker, and they did nothing. That just made me mad. But once he left the Pirates, for the most part, Liriano was more like a lefty specialist for the rest of his career. With the Blue Jays, and then with the Astros in 2017, which they got to the World Series. 2018, he actually was a starter again for the Pirates. For the Tigers, but he went like 5-12. Wasn't a solid year for him. And then he finished his career in 2019, returned to the Pirates as a lefty specialist. Had like a 3.47 ERA, so solid, last year. But he has not been seen in the majors since 2019, and he just recently announced his retirement. I gotta give him credit. He was a solid pitcher. Unfortunately, health reasons, kind of like, prevent him from probably being as big of a star as he could have been. But I definitely think he's definitely a very underrated pitcher and deserves a lot more credit for what he gets. I loved him when he was with the Pirates. He definitely had my eye when he was with the Twins. Again, I definitely, from the beginning saw him as a very promising star. Again, it's unfortunate that Tommy John surgery just threw him off, but he still had his peaks of good moments. Again, he was an all-star. He had two solid 200 strikeout seasons. His 16-8 record, of course, with the Pirates, was one of his best. He had no hitter in 2011, and again, he definitely deserves recognition for sure. So that's why I wanted to make sure I did a video for him as well. As Francisco Liriano again announced his retirement back on January 17th, 2022. Great 14-year career, Frankie. Wish you the best, in your post-baseball life. So, guys, what were your thoughts on Francisco Liriano's 14-year career? What are some of your favorite Francisco Liriano memories as well? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.